Imagine an AI that could out-negotiate world leaders, out-green Elon Musk, and outmaneuver ExxonMobil's lobbyists, all before your morning coffee. Climate change isn't waiting for us to get our act together. From raging wildfires to rising seas, the clock is ticking. But what if AI could step in and rewrite the global playbook on climate policies? Smarter, faster, and fairer than any human bureaucracy ever could. If you're into smart solutions that challenge the status quo, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We can't change the system without you. The planet is burning, quite literally. Last summer, record-breaking heat waves scorched Europe and North America. Wildfires turned skies orange, while floods swallowed entire towns in China and Pakistan. Coral reefs are bleaching into ghostly graveyards, and glaciers are retreating like defeated armies. Oceans are warming at alarming rates, disrupting ecosystems we barely understand. Politicians stood behind podiums, nodding solemnly, promising action. And yet, the atmosphere kept filling with carbon. Meanwhile, Greta Thunberg sailed into New York, scolding world leaders for decades of empty words. At the same time, ExxonMobil quietly funneled millions into lobbying efforts to slow down renewable energy transitions. Their CEO smiled for the cameras at a sustainability conference while signing off on new drilling projects in the Arctic. And then there's Elon Musk shooting rockets to Mars while tweeting about carbon capture on Earth. He promises that technology will save us, but critics argue his focus on colonizing another planet feels like giving up on this one. The United Nations organized yet another climate summit, where hundreds of delegates argued over decimal points in emissions targets, only to emerge with watered-down commitments. It feels like the world is stuck in an endless loop: crisis, conference, compromise, repeat. Every year brings louder alarms, but the system seems paralyzed, incapable of breaking free from its own inertia. Fixing climate change isn't just a technical problem. It's an emotional, political, and economic minefield. Every nation is pulling in a different direction. Rich countries lecture poor ones about coal plants while flying private jets to climate summits. Developing nations like India and Brazil demand the right to grow their economies, even if it means burning more fossil fuels. China insists on its right to develop, citing the centuries of emissions pumped out by the West. The US changes course every election cycle. One president signs onto climate accords, the next tears them up. Meanwhile, oil giants like ExxonMobil and Chevron prefer the status quo because every year of delay means billions in profits. Greenwashing campaigns flood social media, convincing the public that buying reusable shopping bags will offset decades of industrial pollution. The United Nations tries to mediate, but it's like herding cats that are armed with nuclear weapons and trade wars. Elon Musk, for all his ambition, is one man with big ideas but limited influence on global policy. Greta brings moral clarity, but no enforcement power. And let's not forget the millions of ordinary people caught in the middle, worried about rising grocery bills if energy costs spike, and fearful of jobs disappearing in industries dependent on fossil fuels. The result? Paralysis. Even when solutions exist, they're lost in a haze of politics, distrust, and corporate interference. Meanwhile, the planet keeps warming and time keeps slipping through our fingers. Enter AI, not as a sidekick, but as the architect of a new global climate strategy. Phase 1, 0 to 6 months. Urgent action. AI begins by ingesting every climate dataset on Earth: satellite imagery, emissions reports, energy usage patterns. It maps out precise, country-specific action plans. Think of it as Google Maps for decarbonization, turn-by-turn directions for each nation to hit net zero. No more vague promises, just hard numbers and timelines. It uses predictive analytics to anticipate political roadblocks and recommends preemptive solutions. For example, if it knows a certain policy will anger farmers in France, it suggests subsidies and transition programs before protests even erupt. AI also deploys advanced simulations to show leaders exactly what happens if they delay. Want to see New York underwater? Beijing choking under smog? AI generates photorealistic scenarios that make denial politically impossible. These hyper-realistic climate mirrors shock leaders and citizens alike into urgent action. Phase 2, 6 to 18 months. The rollout. AI steps into diplomacy. Using natural language processing, it acts as a neutral negotiator between nations. It calculates fair carbon budgets, predicts political objections, and suggests trade-offs everyone can accept. Imagine an AI moderator in UN climate talks, cutting through speeches and presenting win-win deals in real time. It even spots corporate greenwashing and auto-generates binding contracts to hold companies accountable. Algorithms monitor supply chains, identifying hidden emissions and suggesting cleaner alternatives. For the private sector, AI tailors decarbonization pathways for industries from steelmaking to aviation. It creates financial models showing how clean energy investments will outperform fossil fuels in the long term, convincing even the most stubborn CEOs to pivot. Phase 3, 2 to 5 years. Stabilization and measurable impact. AI oversees implementation. Smart sensors track emissions globally, flagging violations instantly. It recommends course corrections as economies shift. For developing nations, AI designs green growth plans, matching them with targeted financing from rich countries and private investors. It also helps automate and optimize energy grids, making renewable energy not just feasible but dominant. Cities are retrofitted with AI-managed traffic systems to reduce emissions, while agriculture gets a tech makeover with precision farming to cut methane and nitrogen release. Should Elon Musk and the UN be involved? Absolutely, but as partners, not drivers. Elon supplies tech and vision. The UN provides legitimacy. But AI is in the cockpit, flying the mission, and everyone else is finally following the map. Of course, not everyone trusts a machine running the planet's climate strategy. What if AI is hacked by a rogue state? What if oil companies flood it with fake data? What if citizens reject its authority altogether? To counter this, the AI remains open source. Every calculation and decision is transparent, audited by an independent panel of scientists and citizens. In case of sabotage, backup systems kick in, and AI learns to identify disinformation campaigns instantly. Some fear AI will override human freedom. But this isn't Skynet. It's more like a GPS. You can ignore it, but at your own peril. And if a country refuses to play ball, AI suggests economic sanctions calibrated for maximum effect with minimum collateral damage. Then there's the cultural barrier. Some leaders may see AI as a Western tool of domination. To overcome this, AI is programmed to respect local traditions and propose culturally sensitive solutions, ensuring that no nation feels coerced or left behind. Picture a world where every nation knows exactly what to do, where progress is measured in real time, and where the air smells clean again. Greta's protests become celebrations. Elon Musk shifts his focus to terraforming Mars, confident Earth is finally on the mend. The UN evolves into a global AI oversight body, ensuring no single power can hijack the system. Children in Bangladesh no longer fear floods wiping out their homes. Farmers in Africa grow crops with the help of AI-managed irrigation, even in the face of drought. Cities from Los Angeles to Lagos sparkle under clear skies, free from the haze of smog. Families breathe deeply without fear. The rhythm of life becomes balanced again, harmonized with the planet's needs. Would you trust this AI to guide us? Or would you cling to a human-led process that has failed us so far? This is the crossroads, the choice between giving intelligence a chance or watching as human stubbornness drags us all down. If this vision makes sense to you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We're building something smarter, together.